It's a dingle hopper.
I feel strange.
It means you're a baboon, and I'm not.
I'm talking about like a big bear.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
Good day, thank you for joining us. This is Ross and MiKo. This is Ross.
Hello.
And I'm MiKo.
Hello.
And today we are doing our first proper Disney video in actually years.
Hence.
Disney characters.
Yeah.
Two of our favourites.
Pig and cat. No, I know better than that.
Do you know this character's name?
Spink.
Spink.
Don't do that to me. You know I'm already thinking about an actor's name, and my brain's all awash. The pig is called Squealer.
Squealer.
Yeah.
Squealer and Spink. Those are your two
Yeah.
guesses. Neither of them are correct.
I'll get it after I get the other guy, so it's fine.
If Ross seems a little bit distracted, it's because before we sat down to record an advert for Vice, is that what it's called? The Dick Cheney, George Bush movie? Mm-hmm. Came on, and I was like, oh, that's the guy from Green Mile. And now Ross can't remember the actor's name, and it's driving him mad. I have offered to tell him, but...
Yeah, no, I know it, and I can see it. He's in Moon, he's in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, he's in Iron Man 2 or 3. I can't remember.
He's in 3 Billboards. Did you see 3 Billboards?
No, I really wanted to, because
really good film.
I have a huge love affair with Frances McDormand.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
She's very good. And yeah, that looked great, that whole film. I didn't see it. But instead, I'm going to be watching a Disney film tonight.
This is the rebirth of Happily Ever After. So the way we've decided to do this moving forward is one of us will choose a movie for the other one to take control of. What that means is they are the keeper of truth. So for example, I would pick a movie, Ross would then go and research it, come up with trivia, give me a quiz, all this fun stuff.
Yes.
But this is the first one, and we decided that you should be the one to call me out, and you chose the movie
Atlantis.
Now, I don't know anything about Atlantis because I have never seen Atlantis. I have done some research now, but when you first told me we were doing Atlantis, I got really excited because I've never seen it. Mm-hmm. But also I started thinking about, okay, what do I know about Atlantis? It was 2001.
That's when it sank, yeah.
Yeah. I knew that it was the film after Emperor's New Groove. I knew some of the images from it, but I get it confused with Treasure Planet.
Well, you seem to want a lot of pirate stuff.
Yes. Okay. So this is the other thing. Because I don't know what the film's about. I have in my head what it might be about. I know about the philosophy, the Plato side of Atlantis, which I believe is where it came from. You studied philosophy, didn't you? Is that right? Plato came up with Atlantis?
Well, no, there's a reference. He references Atlantis. There's lots of ancient Greek references. There's a lot of maps where it actually, really early on maps that say there was an Atlantis. So so he mentions it, but
right.
In the
what I remembered is that Plato had referenced it almost as a tool, almost like a Bible parable, like a vessel for which to use philosophy to make arguments and stuff. But obviously, over the years, Atlantis has become quite a popular myth, story, legend. And so I have no idea what this is going to be about because as far as I know it, Atlantis was about an island that eventually got destroyed or sank or whatever. But most references to Atlantis that I've seen in popular movies and TV shows and culture. And in the KKK.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time.
Oh, I can't get on about it. Yeah. Most references I know about Atlantis from popular culture are talking about a city that still exists and works and functions under the water. A la that film that I've just forgotten the name of, Ponyo. The Ghibli movie, or any of the sort of mermaid kind of things. That's kind of what people think of as Atlantis, I think. So, when it came to what I expect of this movie, my guess is that it's a group of people led by Michael J. Fox with glasses, and they are going to go and find the treasure of Atlantis, because that's another thing that people often say about Atlantis. So they're like pirates. That's my thinking. They're like they're going on a journey across the sea to find the sunken city of Atlantis and take the gold. There's probably two groups of people going for it: a bad group and a good group that have to get there before the bad group because they just want it for their portfolio. But the good guys, they want it for the betterment of mankind.
A museum?
Maybe. Possibly.
Don't want to spoil anything.
So that's my guess as to what the plot is going to be. And as such, I thought it'd be cool if we had little piratey stuff. I tried to get eye patches. Yeah, we've got treasure. A treasure chest.
The irony with these would float in water.
The coins?
Yeah, I think so.
Or these ones?
These ones, yeah.
Not actual coins.
Not in the film, you should see it's hilarious. It's just Atlantis was all plastic.
Yeah. But although I couldn't find eye patches, luckily Ross has got lots of weird stuff.
Thank you.
And one of the characters I think I've seen, but it might be Treasure Planet, I'm not sure, has like these kind of things that are like I have no idea what he sounds like.
That's pretty much it.
That's how I imagine.
There should be that character in every film.
One of us can have that, and one of us can have these, which you said one of the characters has. I believe you're referencing MiKo.
Yeah, I think he's got glasses like that, from what I remember.
This doesn't feel weird to me at all because I wear glasses all the time, but I have no idea what I look like because they've blurred my vision a little.
Look right. They're not. Oh, well, if you wear glasses, then it would. But they're not actual. They're fake. They're prop glasses.
Yeah, but they're just really dirty.
Yeah, that would.
So I can't see properly out of them.
Keep them in the bin.
Do you want to pick one to wear, and then we'll both wear one?
Well, I'm not going to wear these for the whole.
No, not for the whole film. Just
although they do go.
Just for a wee moment.
You can put them up like that.
Oh, like those cool sunglasses.
These are my ghost-busting glasses.
Okay.
There used to be lights that worked on the sides, but I think the batteries ran out. So.
Okay, so say something Atlantean to the camera.
Well,
but you know, I don't know how else we're meant to get the gold.
That was an alright Michael J. impression.
Thank you, considering I wasn't actually trying to do Michael J. Fox. I was just doing a floppy male lead.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking about the actor from Moon. Damn it!
Do you want me to tell you the first initial?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah?
Let's get this over with. Let's
S.
kill it now. S. Is it Stephen? It's something boring, isn't it?
The first name is boring. The second name is really Hollywood.
Sean. Stephen.
It's monosyllabic.
Oh, it's Sam. Sam. Sam.
Sam! You know him.
Fuck. Now Sam Worthington's in my head. Damn him. I think he died. And I just damned him. Anyway, right. Never mind. Sam's gone.
Okay, so another thing that I wanted to do was to have a special cocktail for every Disney movie that we do that will fall upon the Keeper of Truth. In this case, it was me. I made a jug of this, which I've not yet named. We'll call it... what will we call it?
I don't know.
It's called Atlantean Algae.
Ah.
Ross hasn't tried it yet. So.
A big seller, is it?
Not yet.
Oh. Well, it
We're
smells.
going to get our first reaction.
It does smell.
It has a scent.
Yes.
Has a flavour also.
It's alright.
Yeah.
It's alright.
I'm not too bad. It's not poison. I'm an amateur mixologist of sorts.
It tastes better than it looks. It's a theme. It's algae themed. I like it.
Yeah.
Algae's good.
It's got food colouring in it to make it that colour.
So tomorrow I'm going to go work with a green face.
It's actually blue colouring. This is not interesting, but
well, I think it is considering it's green. What's happened
Well,
here?
because it's pineapple juice and it's and I hate white rum, and I didn't have enough money to get enough spirits to drown out the rum.
Okay.
So I got a nice rum, a golden rum for the gold, and pineapple juice. So that makes it a very orangey browny thing. So there's only so much the blue can do.
Is that how you want to tell people how to make the algae, the Atlantean algae, Do you want?
Shall we tell people?
I feel like you should have a list maybe coming up.
Sure,
All the
yeah.
ingredients.
Oh yeah, all the many ingredients. If you would like to make some Atlantean algae at home,
we'll maybe cut to a close up of maybe.
Oh yeah, we'll do
the
some
scum
cool
on
shots.
the
Yeah.
top, kind of.
All you need is golden rum, quite a strong amount of that. I'll figure out the parts later. A lot of rum, a little bit of pineapple juice, and then you're going to top it up with, you can use lemonade, but I've actually gone for a blueberry and raspberry flavoured sparkling water.
I love the fact that you have alternatives, even though this is the first time you ever made this. You could use this or this, but
If you're a basic bitch, you use lemonade. But, if you want to sparkle it up, think of flavours that complement each other. You know. And finally, you want some... I imagine green would probably work, but if you get some blue food colouring, it will turn it into this sea green.
I recommend that because it sounds like it would be, you can pretend you're a scientist doing an experiment that goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, food colouring is a lot of fun when it comes to... I wanted to use blue curacao, but I couldn't find any in the shop I was in, so...
What's up?
I had to become creative. No! No! Are you serious?
There's only a tiny bit. That's probably incredibly out of date though.
Oh my
But
days.
it was up his arse the whole time.
All these
You
years
didn't know that was
wondering
gonna
what was
happen.
up Iago.
We didn't know that wasn't planned.
I think my reaction showed that. I can't believe... That shouldn't be the biggest... You're stuck on... I almost just said his name. You're stuck on Sam, and I'm now stuck on what's up Iago. What we're going to do.
I know. Now I need to surprise you every week with what's up, Iago.
I know, it's a different thing.
What's up, Iago? Well, here's what's up this week. And then I'll
It's like you're a Iago
pull something
impression.
from... I didn't try hard.
Hey guys, it's me. If I have to choke down one more of those lousy moldy crackers.
Here, I could do a joke for all the people, the fans of the modern Aladdin. Here's my Iago impression. He doesn't speak, apparently. I've not seen it.
Interestingly, although Iago doesn't speak in the new Aladdin, Gilbert Gottfried voices Jafar.
That would be amazing with that handsome
Fetch me the lamp!
face.
Yeah.
The rest of the treasure is yours, but the lamp is mine!
Oh man, that's a good Iago.
It's not great, but you have to shout it. There's
You have
no
to
way.
be loud, yeah.
You can't be a quiet Gilbert. How does Gilbert Gottfried sound whispering?
It doesn't.
Try it.
I've got a secret.
No,
I don't think it can. Yeah.
I've got a secret! Everybody quiet!
all right. Enough of that nonsense. So, one last piratey thing. I've got 2 earrings in right now. You probably can't see them there. I'll probably try and enhance zoom that in really low quality. But I've got them in there. They're fake. They're not. I didn't pierce my ears for the occasion of watching this movie. Once we have watched the movie film, I will provide Ross here with a quiz and also some tidbits and trivia and such. Yes.
I'm spoiled. Spoiled.
How do you think you'll do on the quiz?
It depends what the questions are. If it's stuff about observation, like what color was so and so, or which character was this, or what's the name of the Sam guy from the film Moon, I'll struggle, to be honest. But if it's more general concepts, like what did you just watch? Atlantis? Question mark. I'll be like, yes.
It's not actually just called Atlantis, is it?
No, it's got a subtitle or whatever they call them. It's Atlantis, city down under the water, or something like that. Treasure planet.
I did a video earlier explaining what was going to happen. Just saying Ross called me out and doing Atlantis, and I was talking about what I knew, and I knew it had an extra title, but I couldn't remember what it was. I can't remember what I said, but I guessed. I tried to improvise a title, and I said something like Atlantis, the wet place.
Yeah, sitting on the edge of the pond.
It's actually really cool that you've got Iago, because you could have like a pirate on the shoulder. Again, this movie might have nothing to do with piracy, but I've decided it has. I've got my pirate pig, whose name is Pua, by the way, not Squealer
That's what I said.
or Spink.
I said that, you just didn't hear it.
I love Pua. Most underutilized Disney character ever? Question mark. Future video. Do you have any opinions?
I might do. I need to think about them.
Oh, okay,
but
that's fair. So the final thing to do before we get cracking on is the drinking rules. If you don't know Ross and me very well yet, allow me to explain. I love drinking rules. Ross does not like drinking rules. However, I am very forceful with my fun, and so Ross will have to have 2 drinking rules. I will have the rest of them. So the first one that you definitely have to have, you will pick a name from what I believe to be the 2 main characters, and I will have the other. One is Milo and one is Kida.
Okay, so here's my thinking. Because there's got to be thinking involved in this. I don't want to play drinking rule games. So I don't want to pick the one where I've got to... I like to drink casually and often. Not at the whim of some crazed dictator. So I want...
So it's not a dictatorship. You're getting to choose.
I thought you were going to say, you're getting to drink. Either way, it's fine. But so here's my thinking. If I go Milo... I know for a fact he's in, I think, pretty much every single scene.
Okay.
But like with the Lion King drinking rules, that doesn't necessarily mean that his name gets said. I know the other name. What's the other name? Kida. I think
that might be the wrong pronunciation.
I think that is the princess queen thing, although she's not technically a Disney princess. For some reasons, don't know, don't care.
That's another debate for another time.
I think if she's the one that's voiced by Cree Summer,
I think so.
I think she turns up about halfway through the film. Not to spoil anything for you, but nah. But they might say her name a lot more because they'll have the Pumbaa and Timon turned up halfway through Lion King.
Yeah, or another thing that happened in Lion King was Mufasa. We both thought Mufasa would be a good bet because he's gone pretty early on. But
when he's in it, everyone makes sure that everyone knows his name.
Yeah.
And I think it might be the same with her. So I'm going to go with Milo, but there'll be a lot of drinking at the start because I think, if I remember, there's like a Milo. There might be a lot of that at the beginning. Once it's established, I think then it'll calm down, hopefully.
Okay.
But I might have got that wrong. No, I'll go with Milo and hope that... I'll go with her. I'll go with her name.
Kida.
I think I've talked myself into... but I think there'll be... That one, there'll be an intense 5 minutes of, what's your name?
Kida.
I'm sorry?
Kida.
But? Kida. And then he'll be like, I'll call you lady. And then they'll move on. That's my plan. Whereas I think people are going to shout Milo all the way through. Milo, look out! Milo, behind you! Milo, why did you do that, Milo? I think. So I'll go with her name.
Just so you know, editing that reasoning that you just did is going to be a ball ache.
Separate video. See my separate video for details on why.
Join our Patreon, see Ross's full
the
rambos.
2 hour talk. So I'm going to her name.
Okay.
Kida.
Interesting detail to picking her name that I didn't mention earlier.
Uh-oh.
It still counts when they say her full name. Because her name's like Kida Gakanakaras or something like that.
Okay.
So,
now, fair enough. In fact, it should have been the other way. It should have just been drink when they say her full name. But I'll do it all.
Sorry. Okay. I don't know. I've not seen the movie. I'm trying my best, Ross.
But you get Milo, so
in the event that we had to cut all of that, Ross has picked Kida. I will drink when Milo is said. The other drinking rules that I will undertake, and you can pick whatever one you want from it. Mm-hmm. Now, these are drinking rules that I've made up. I couldn't find drinking rules online for this movie, so I've had to come up with what I guess might happen. This might be... I might die, or I might stay completely sober. I really we'll find out soon. My first one is... I know there's a character called Mole or something like that, so any puns based on that, anytime he mentions dirt or digging or underground or...
Now, when you say mention...
What?
What if he does stuff?
Oh, yeah. That, like, if he digs.
Okay.
Yeah, if he digs, that counts. That's an old drinky poos for MiKo.
Yes.
If he says at any point a reference to the popular phrase making a mountain out of a molehill, I will down my drink. The next one I've got is any reference to gold or treasure. Not specifically money, just gold, treasure, rubies, all that kind of stuff. So if someone just says, he's going to make a lot of money, that doesn't count. But if someone says...
A diamond?
Treasure, yes, if someone says it like
a
that.
ruby?
Can you keep going?
A general, perhaps?
Okay, I've also got any reference to explosions, because I read... when I was researching the trivia that there's a character who likes explosions. Okay, and I've got 3 more. Anytime they say the word underwater, I was struggling whether or not to make it the word ocean or sea, but I don't know exactly where Atlantis is. No one does.
Oh, I do.
So I've gone with underwater, if they say the words underwater, not just water, underwater.
Okay.
Okay? Anytime they say the word civilization, again, might not happen, but if they do, I'll drink for that.
Popular word.
And finally, anytime, this was a Ross suggestion, anytime Milo is clumsy. So, you can pick one of those.
I'm going to say underwater.
Okay.
My reasonings can be seen in another video.
Well, the reasoning would imply that they don't say underwater a lot, or maybe even at all. We're going to find
so.
out.
Again, I can't remember. It's been, I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but probably 2 years since I last saw this. And I can't remember much about it.
I will expand underwater to under the surface, or under the...
Oh, no, that might...
anything like that.
That's a little bit more dangerous.
Whenever they're talking about underwater, whenever they make that clear. So Ross has 2 drinking rules, any reference to underwater or going underwater, and Kida, I have got all of the other ones.
What could possibly go wrong?
All right. Anything that you would like to add?
I hope you're all well. Watch along.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you can't, because we're not doing a watch along.
Pause this video.
Pause this video for an hour and a half. Come back.
Come back, having used drinking rules, drinking the algae from Atlantis.
Atlantean algae. Are they called Atlanteans? I might have just made that up.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing, yeah.
Okay. So let's jump into Atlantis. But before that, I will give you one bit of trivia. Are you ready?
Ready.
The rest I will say for after the movie films.
Please.
So, lots of films have lots of actors and actresses in mind for lots of different parts, and Atlantis is, of course, no exception. But one of them did catch my eye. A really fun, different casting for Milo instead of Michael J. Fox. Now, there was a bunch of them, like say, but my favourite one, Nicolas Cage.
Let's drink algae to that. So this would have been pre-rock?
No.
Post-rock.
Definitely post-rock, because the rock's the mid-90s. That's like 96, 97 or something. This is 2001.
Yeah. But there was a point in Nicolas Cage's life where he was at least considered for every single role.
Yeah. I think this was just around about the time of Wicker Man.
Wait, right. Oh,
that's what I think. I don't know. I would need to check that.
Wow, yeah. It's funny how these things go, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I guess that wraps it up. Anything else to add?
No, I hope you enjoy the film.
I do too. I think I will. I'm suspicious. I'm sure
I will. I'm very suspicious.
I reckon it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you enjoy your algae, because you're going to be drinking a lot of it. We will see the rest of you cats afterwards.
On the other side of the ocean.
Or sea. Peninsula.
Underwater.
Puddle. Bye!
6.5 hours later.
Hello!
Hi!
Welcome back.
Mm-hmm.
We've just watched the film Disney's Atlantis.
The Lost Empire.
Brackets. There's no brackets.
I think it's a colon situation.
We're going to go through some first opinions, things that happened, and we're going to do you're going to give us some facts, you're maybe going to test me on some things I'm going to get wrong.
A wee quiz.
But first of all, we got to figure out how drunk we both are based on your drinking rules and this algae that we've been drinking.
Yes, the Atlantean algae, first of all, did well. Tasted quite well.
Very nice. I kept asking for more.
Yeah, this is like the 4th jug that we made, so it's been a big hit. Disney cocktail #1.
Yes.
Huge success.
Huge, although, to be honest, if it was alcohol, it's going to work, really, isn't it? Unless it was like...
Well, I don't know. You're not a very adventurous alcoholic.
No.
So we need to look at how the drinking rules worked, simply because I made up the drinking rules before I'd seen the film. The secondary rule, if you're choosing, was the word underwater. And you knew, which I didn't, that they go underwater essentially immediately.
There's like that much ocean, and then they're like, now we're there, we don't need to bring it up again.
And they're like, hey, Atlantis is cool, we've got a team, let's go underwater now. And
they even go underwater whilst underwater.
Yeah.
Which means, but rather than be like, now we're going underwater water.
Yeah.
They're just like, it doesn't matter anymore.
Milo and Kira worked really well, except they didn't say their names as much as they would in other Disney films. And I also noticed that I'm pretty sure they say Thatch way more than they say Milo. Yeah. Okay, let's go through the other drinking rules. Mole, doing digging things or referencing being a mole. There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
But the character wasn't in it, honestly, as much as I'd like him to be. Gold and treasure. They ended up saying crystal a lot, so I was drinking for that, which was great. But that really sort of came in at the end. I really thought the plot of this movie was going to be much more about grand treasures, El Dorado style, which we will talk about as we get on. And it really wasn't that much. So that one was a bit of a dud as well. So same with the explosion references. Again, there was a few of them, but not enough that I'd consider it a solid thing. Something that Civilization, they said, I believe once. I got very excited.
You did, yeah.
Milo being clumsy was a great one. Especially if you consider clumsy speech and just in general.
There's goofiness.
So that one really worked. One that I didn't include in the rows before we started watching, but I quickly adapted, was one that was so obvious that I forgot, which was Atlantis. Just the mentioning of Atlantis, which is always a good rule if it's the name of a film.
I think you are now suggesting a strategy for someone to get drunk very quickly.
Another thing I realised with the drinking rules is that we should have general Disney drinking rules. And the big one that stood out to me in this was dead parents or missing parents.
Yeah, it's nice little golden ticket.
Yeah, that's a big thing in Disney movies. And so when Milo and Kira had that, hey, I don't know where my mum is either. But that's something that I think I could do for the next time we do this, is come up with some general Disney rules. Just 3, 4, 5 maybe of just constant themes in Disney movies that if they happen, we take a drink. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot less piracy than I expected as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. It's not. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't like hoping for a pirate adventure. I just thought that was going to be the avenue. But it was set in 1914, which is after pirates, but at the very start of the First World War. Is that another one of those wars that America just joined in when they felt like? Is that what happened? Is that why it wasn't relevant in the film at all? Because they never mentioned it even once.
I don't know, because that was the Great War, but it wasn't the Just War. Unlike the Second World War, which obviously some people have forgotten, people came out being like, you know, that was worth it. First one, it was like it was an economic war.
I'll tell you another thing in terms of it being piratey. I was so banking on it being piratey that I brought my pirate notepad with me. It's got a compass. It's got like a
working compass,
like a steering wheel and an anchor.
That's
like
a whole boat.
Yeah, I've got a boat book
for
writing my notes in, and
That's
it was
beautiful.
Entirely unnecessary.
Well, no, it's very beautiful, and I hope you use it for other Disney notes.
If you're going to do drinking rules, some amendments I would make is include the word Atlantis, include the word water, and include the word money. Those are better ones than any mole references or any explosive references. These are a bit few and far between for how it works. So if you're wanting to do a more extreme drinking rules thing, then those are 3 words that I would include that I think will give you a bit of a challenge to get through to the end.
Okay, how about this?
Okay.
Smoking. Because
interesting you should say that.
Is that one of your things we'll get back to?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to talk about smoking. So let's get on to some trivia.
No.
Oh, okay.
I want to know your general opinion of that film. Did
Okay.
you enjoy it? Was there things you didn't like?
Yes.
I'd be worried, knowing you. I'd be like, there's quite a lot of magic-y stuff and sci-fi stuff that you can be either totally on board with or totally against, depending on how they do it.
Yeah.
That would be my worry with that film. I think they do it well enough that I think you enjoyed it.
It's not so much about how well it's done with what gets me on board with, fantasy, sci-fi stuff. It's more about, is that all that the story is hanging on? So the problem with sci-fi for me a lot of the time is the entire plot is based upon this, who'd it, watch it,
Magic
MacGuffin
crystal
kind of, yeah.
The heart of the city.
Whereas, but that only comes out in the last quarter of the movie. So the majority of the movie is not based on that. And so that is not a plot device driving the entire movie. It's just a thing that comes in at the end. I have no problem with that. Studio Ghibli movies do that quite a lot as well. Bring something in that's a bit magical and wondrous, but it's not that crucial. It doesn't really matter. I really, really enjoyed it. I think it is definitely not one of the best Disney movies, but I think that it is much better than I was anticipating. Underrated because of the era in which it came out. It was kind of the beginning of the second dark age of Disney. There was a lot of 2.5D kind of effects going on. I think they underutilized some of the characters. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the secondary characters didn't really have a purpose. They were just sort of there. If you compare it to something like Princess and the Frog, which is a lofty comparison for me because Princess and the Frog is my favourite modern Disney film. But if you look at that, there's so many side characters in Princess and the Frog. So many. But they all have very clear goals and directives, and they are working towards them, and they face different obstacles or overcome them or whatever. And this film really didn't have that. You had the explosion guy wanting to open a flower shop. That was all of these things were kind of tenuous and meaningless. All of the side characters, or the adventure teams' relationships with MiKo, sort of just changed, ebbed and flowed with what the plot needed. So they were kind of mean to him, and then they were like, oh no, come sit with us. And then they were like, oh no, surprise, we've got guns. And they were like, oh no, we've changed our mind, that's kind of mean. It just kind of, and they all sort of went over each and every way. There was no individuality with that. I would have liked it a lot more if a couple of them stayed with the evil Commander Rourke or whatever. Or, there was some sort of...
Maybe it was a short Netflix series where you got to know them over a course, and then that would have made the big betrayal all the more painful. And then, yeah, because from what I actually genuinely thought at the end of that film, I thought one of them died, and that turned the other ones back to him.
Right.
I was sure one of them was going to die, or there was going to be some big event that would actually rather than them just all looking at his sad face and be like, no, I'm with it in a bit.
But because you're a writer and that makes sense. And so you've filled in the gaps and said that this is what should happen. But it's not what happens. So I would definitely be a little bit critical of the way that I think they cut out a lot of scripts, I reckon. I'm sure, yeah. Apparently it was one of the longest scripts Disney have ever done. In terms of dialogue and stuff, and they had to cut most of it down.
In fact, I did not know.
I'm the keeper of truth, mate. I'm here to provide you with this shit. So yeah, I'm sure they cut a lot of it out, but what we were left with was I think they could have removed one of those characters and given more to the ones that were left. There were no characters in that you cared about other than Kida and MiKo.
I don't
think that was
I quite liked Mechanic Lady.
You don't remember her name though.
It's Mechanic.
But this is my point. Is you should remember her name. It shouldn't just be Mechanic Lady. She should have done more cool things. Helga, the evil lady, had more cool moments than I've forgotten her name now. So after ripping you, than the Mechanic Lady.
No, I can see that. I think things were missed out, and they'd obviously made choices. And talking about characters to cut, that could be another or part of a future talk. It's people who are
that'd be a good video to do.
People, but we could add that into the people who are not used enough, and also people who are there that you think. Because they were all good characters.
Yeah, I don't even know which one I would cut. I liked all of the characters. They just didn't add a lot to it. Other than going, we're on his side. None of them had the big moment.
Maybe they're there to validate him by the end of the film. So we as viewers... Because that's what they used to do with girlfriends or love interests. It would be to validate... If someone... respected or liked the main character that we liked and respected, then that's them solid in our heads. So he was gaining their respect and friendship.
I get
so when they got that, then we were like, oh great, he is a good guy.
But do you know what would have made that more powerful?
More time.
Is if they... No, not even more time. Just don't have them be like, oh, you should come sit next to us. Make him fuck up in such a way that they don't talk to him for the entire film. That make him find out that they are evil earlier. So by the time he's gone swimming and stuff like that, by the time he comes up, he's not like, oh, why have you all got guns? He's like, oh, of course you've all got fucking guns. Make it so that they are the antagonists for a much longer period of time, so that when they do turn, it's more of a surprise. Because you had them be kind of annoying at the beginning and then be like, oh, we're friends. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, we are. Like, it didn't work. If you had it that he had to earn their respect all the way through the film, then that's a story arc. You've got an arc there. You've got a point of he is not even necessarily trying to prove himself to them, but by the end of the film, he has proved himself to them, even unwittingly, and that is why they join his side. That would be a great conclusion, a great resolution, but that didn't happen because they'd already kind of decided they liked him. It wasn't clear why they decided they liked him. It wasn't clear why they decided to go into join the fucking NRA. So none of that really had any impact.
I mean, it's so brief, but you, if you saw one of the other characters actually having a human moment with one of those other humans in the village, then they're the one that makes the decision, and the rest of them turn on that. And
what
you don't,
if,
it's
what
not
if
quite...
all it would take is for Rourke or O'Rourke or whatever his name is, to be like, okay, Mole, shoot that guy. And to have like a 20 second of him going, oh yeah,
But he gave me bread 2 minutes ago.
But they didn't have any of that. There was no investment in those characters. So as lovable as it was great character design. It was great visualization. It was great voice. It was great.
Great setup. Within 30 seconds, you knew the characters.
Exactly, but they never did anything after that, and that would be my biggest complaint of the film.
Legitimate, I would say. So thank you very much. So
no worries.
Enjoyable. You would watch it again. You would,
for sure.
It.
I would recommend it to other people simply because a lot of people wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't recommend it as highly as some other Disney films, but I definitely don't think it's one to avoid or anything like that. I think it's definitely worth a watch and really enjoyable.
But you said that this was the same year that Shrek won the award, is that right? Or
yeah, it was 2001.
So, knowing that, do you think Shrek deserved it?
Yeah.
Compared to this?
I don't want you to stop being my friend, but yeah, I think Shrek deserved it.
I know that you wouldn't. Like, as I said, when you said that, I was like, well, I suppose people hadn't really seen computer stuff done on that level, maybe.
Yeah, the huge cast.
That doesn't count. It was best animation, it wasn't best cast.
Okay, it's the Oscars.
It doesn't. None of it matters.
It's not an objective thing.
It's all
and the fact is that Shrek is a really enjoyable, really funny, really well executed movie. Listen, you don't like Shrek, and that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. You're so positive about everything. It's okay to have a thing that you just really hate. It's weird that it's Shrek, but it's cool that you have a thing that you hate. Okay, so I thought we could talk about just general thoughts that we had while watching the movie. Mm-hmm. Especially for me in my first time. The first thing I noticed right at the beginning, Kida is a baby Are we pudgy baby?
Yeah, no,
Isn't that-
I'm really glad you mentioned that because I actually start to draw her. But like this was halfway through the film, I was like, I really love the way they drew her.
Yeah.
It was such a really good kind of. I've not really seen that before. The way I drew it just ended up like that.
That's
So,
great.
really
That's-
wrong. But yeah, I just thought, oh, that's such a cool little podgy proper toddler drawing. So I think there's a thing to be said about why this isn't in anyone's list. People forget about it, and there's something about the storytelling that doesn't quite work.
Okay.
And I think it's more than just what you're saying about those characters not working. I think maybe the crystal thing is somehow forgettable. The concept, like I reckon, in a month or two, definitely when you ask me, obviously you've got a better memory than I do. I probably won't remember the details of the plot. There's something not quite there, and it might be the heart of it. His like, who's got what's the emotional thing? There's a thing about his granddad. And he was like, well, we never met him, or we never saw that. You don't need to, I suppose, but there's something missing about it that it lacks that classic quality, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. It's maybe it's 1,000 little things. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. There's a weird disconnect with it slightly, and I think that the problem is the supporting characters. If you look at the most memorable thing about that film, I think, having just watched it, and I'd like to think I remember all, but the things I think that will stay with me are the characterization of the supporting cast, and they're great characters as we've discussed, but they don't do anything. There's no defining moments. So again, to compare it to Princess and the Frog, which I think is the best use of supporting characters outside of Jungle Book, you look at someone like Raymond, the Firefly. He's not a main character by any stretch. He's not even really a secondary character. He's kind of a tertiary character. But the thing with Ray is he has a really important plot point, right? His interactions with Dr. Facili and his story with Evangeline. And the same can be said with all of the sort of secondary and tertiary characters in Princess and the Frog. They all have a moment. They all have a thing that you can go, oh, remember when they did that? Whereas with Mole, for example, in this, you're like, remember when he dug 4 times
hilariously in a plant pot.
And yeah, and it was really funny, but there was nothing, like he did the same thing multiple times. Like the Santorini multiple times said, I've got TNT. And it was great every time, but there was no moment that you go, remember that. And I was really holding out hope for the female mechanic to have a real moment of saving the day, and it just didn't happen. And I think this movie suffers greatly from that. So I mentioned Road to El Dorado when we were watching this. It was a film that came out just a few months before this. There's a lot of he say, she say about whether or not it, one film stole from the other, a la Ants and Bugs Life and films like that. But the first thing I thought when I saw The Mechanic was that looks like Rosie Perez. It was the way she was drawn, it was the way she was portrayed, and the main female character in El Dorado is portrayed by Rosie Perez, who I know mainly from White Men Can't Jump. Shout out, one of the most underrated films of all time.
Shout out also to Short Circuit, one of the most underrated films of all time.
What else did you notice from the movie?
Well, the only question I was going to give you, it's really shit, so that's why I stopped doing it.
Okay, so you don't have a quiz, you just have
I've got one question that I thought was so bad that it stopped me doing any more.
Okay.
So the character, Whitmore, at the beginning of the film, is an old man who is voiced by
Fraser's dad.
Thingy. Frasier is from the TV show Frasier. There's different Frasers, so that's
It's really not, though.
There's Benton Fraser from Due South. My favourite Frasier. So when you talk about Frasier, is it Fraser or Frasier? So as you noted, at the beginning of the film, this character appears, voiced by the voice of Frasier from the American sitcom Frasier. Mm-hmm. There we go.
Not voiced by him, but voiced by his dad.
Yeah, but sorry, voiced by his dad, not by the dog or by Fraser or by his brother Niles, but by the dad. His character design...
He did really well, by the way, just a little side note. When I found out it was him, I was like, oh, has he done a lot of voice acting? As we've discussed before, a lot of people who are great actors aren't necessarily great voice actors, but I thought he did really, really well. I thought
that was a
performance.
solid character, especially how he's only at the end.
Yeah,
and when you were talking about how we were saying there's probably not enough time to get emotional depth out of enough of the characters.
Yeah.
Felt with the little
they did really well
at
with
the
him,
end,
yeah,
and he
for sure.
it was a great character for the brief time that he was in it. The character design, you point out immediately, like that's the old man design that Jafar disguised himself as to lure Aladdin to go and get the lamp. And I was like, that fits really well because that's what he's doing in this film. Except,
I suppose, yeah.
Except he's not evil. It just so happens that's the old man is like a passionate old man wanting to get something.
Things aren't always as they seem.
Diamond gingerbread. My question was, what does Whitmore, that's the name of the character, say about the expedition? He's got little models, and he has a phrase. Because there's a lot of phrases, and I know you noticed the phrases, because you were like, oh, is that an early, it's like Jiminy Christmas. And, but it's like, oh, is this like old 1914 slang? Because a lot of the old ones were about like the famous people of the time who've disappeared in our existence, so we have no idea.
I think I said out loud all the ones that stood out to me though, so this is making me nervous.
Well, I'll do you know what? I'll say most of it because I think it'll be unfair, and then it'll be the last word that you need to find. So what's his face? Milo's like amazed. It's like, how did you? What we're gonna do? And it's like, oh no, we're gonna send this. We're gonna send the whole ball of something, and it's a phrase that I have heard before, so it's not as old as some of the other ones.
The whole ball of
something to
tweed.
Suggest everything.
The whole ball of. I really don't know. The whole ball. It's got to be some sort of material, right? Is it? Yeah. The whole ball of tweed, the whole ball of thread, the whole ball of string.
Well, when you say material, sorry, I was thinking more of a tangible item, not necessarily a. I don't.
The whole ball of steel. Is that where balls of steel comes from?
Balls of steel.
I really don't know.
I know, and that's why I thought I should stop making questions.
No, this is. I love these kind of questions. I'm not someone
it's not something I would ever have thought of or cared about. So I was like, I'm going to stop this.
Ross.
Yes.
Ross.
Hello.
I'm not someone. I don't mind losing. I'm not someone who gets upset if you ask me questions and I don't know the answer. If you came up with a 20 question quiz and I got one, I'm not going to be upset by that because you either know or you learn. I'm all good for that. So you really don't need to worry.
Okay,
those are good questions.
Well, moving on.
I like that was tricky. No, not moving on. You need to tell me the fucking answer.
Well, it doesn't matter.
No, fuck. If I don't get to know the answer, then that frustrates me because then I'm just an idiot and I never learn.
You're not an idiot for not remembering that one thing.
No, but I remain as stupid as I was if I don't learn the answer. If you tell me the answer, I've learned something. If you don't, then you're just leaving me in a limbo of stupidity.
Okay, right. I don't think you're going to learn anything from this, but it's wax. A whole ball of wax.
The whole ball of wax.
The whole ball of wax. An old phrase that we should probably start bringing back into this world.
I'm gonna.
The whole ball of wax.
It just means give them everything you got. Like,
not just this little bit, not just that.
Like everything in the kitchen sink. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. Whole ball of wax. The whole damn ball of wax.
I like it.
So there you go. And I was like, do you know what? I'm out with questions. But that brings us on to your questions to me. And if they're anything like that, my answer is no, don't know, skip, and...
But before that, I have a few more thoughts on the movie.
Oh, right. Sorry, yeah.
That's all right. We spoke briefly there about Fraser's dad being quite good at voice acting. Do you know what else I was really impressed with was Leonard Nimoy. The bit at the end where he's sort of like dying, it was such a different voice he had, like a really...
Well, So I suppose this is a little thing. I'm a big. I don't know if this come up.
Big Star Trek geek.
Big Star Trek fan. So the idea that someone like Leonard Nimoy would be good at his job doesn't surprise me. But so I take it for granted, maybe, because you've probably only seen him from Fringe, maybe the TV show Fringe.
I've seen him in Star Trek as well.
Yeah, but you didn't really enjoy it. Like,
No.
you're not. Yeah, so it doesn't really count. You sort of thought, oh, there's Spock, you know, because everyone just takes that like, there he is. But he's an amazing actor. So that's good that you saw a little bit of that.
So Ross,
Yeah.
it's time for a quiz.
Uh-oh.
Have you got your papers ready?
I do.
Your peninsula ready?
Hit me. Question 1. Begin.
Question 1. Nice and simple. To give you a false sense of security, what year was this film released in? We have said it several times in this video.
I can't remember.
Well, tough. Guess. Figure it out. It's definitely in the back of your head somewhere. You figured out Sam Rockwell earlier.
I've done it. Well, I had to go to the toilet to do that.
Do you want to do answers each round, or do you want to?
It's up to you.
Do them all out?
Yeah, let's do it each round, because
Okay.
people might want to phase out. They don't want to go through it all, you know.
What have you got?
2001.
2001 is the correct answer, Ross. Give yourself a big tick and a wee hug. Who died during the filming of this movie?
Loads of people.
Slightly darker.
Yeah, are we talking your family, my family? Where are we going here? Related to the film in some way?
Well, yes.
2001.
One of the main characters in this movie died during the filming of it. And they had to get a sound-alike to come in and deliver one of the lines.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, it can't be Leonard Nimoy. Because I'm sure he survived longer than 2001, because Fringe...
You would know.
Yeah. Or would I?
Would you?
He didn't tell me everything, to be fair, and I was his biggest fan. Wouldn't have been Jim Rockford. Because I think he did some CSI, didn't he? Or no, NCIS. Maybe. Just thinking of old people. James Ogden Spears? He definitely died. A lot of them are dead. God, right, okay. Is it one of the main characters?
One of the secondary characters.
Oh, God. Did they die of old age?
There's only really two main characters, maybe three, I guess.
Did the person we're talking about die of natural... That's a
difficult question. That's a loaded question.
Did they die because they were really old and also happened to die, or did they die because younger than intended?
I'm not sure. They died younger than
you'd expect.
Natural causes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, younger
But it was
than-
because of a heart attack or lung cancer or one of those.
Well, I'm gonna
things.
have to go. What's his face? Rockford Files. Even though I think he was in NCIS.
The answer is... Oh, shit. Did I get his name right? James Varney?
Oh, James Varney. Oh,
Is that his name?
I forgot he was in there. Yeah, James Varney.
So
I totally forgot about him. Which one did he play again?
The answer is the character Cookie, played by James Varney, i.e. Slinky Dog from Toy Story, or more relevantly, Ernest from Slam Dunk Ernest.
Or Ernest Saves Christmas. Or Ernest does another thing.
I have some more info about that though. The line where he says, "I'm not good at speechifying" or something like that. That was the one that wasn't voiced by him. It was voiced by a man called Stephen Barr, who's not a super experienced voice actor from what I found looking him up, but he is one of the main characters in Mass Effect, which is what he's best known for.
I thought you were going to say it was our old friend Jim Cummings.
Yeah, just
coming in.
just being Jim Cummings.
I'd imagine you'd hire Jim Cummings to stand outside and just wait and be like, someone died? It's like, no, but
Have him on retainer.
Yeah.
If you're an animation studio, have Jim Cummings on retainer. Just give him a bunch of money. If you're an animation studio and you can afford to just pay Jim Cummings a retainer, then that's what you should do.
It's like an insurance policy.
Yeah,
it's, like
it's exactly
act
what it
of
is.
God, shitty actor, I'm gonna anything, dead actor.
Colin Cummings.
Yeah, and he'll do a thing. That's probably exactly why he's on. Like that, they were like, "Oh shit, we need one more voice."
Yeah. Call
Well,
Jim.
Jim's in the studio doing something else.
Yeah, he's already here
Yeah.
working on 17 other projects. So, ooh, here's a good one. Now, this is one that I don't expect you to get completely right, but I think might be quite fun. This movie was rated as a PG. There are 4 other films? Yes. 3 other films that were also rated PG, released by Disney, aimed for kids.
Jeez.
Can you name them?
Well, the short answer is no. Let's try and keep this quick. I'm trying to think.
What's the game?
Cauldron. Black Cauldron was supposed to be the dark.
Correct.
A dark one. So that's
one of
one.
them. Yeah.
How many more have I got?
2 more.
So I'm assuming it's after that. I'm pretty sure that was the first dark one they did. Or, I mean, obviously there's a lot of death and murder and stuff.
It is the first one.
PG...
The trivia I found said this was the first PG film since Black Cauldron, but that's not true.
All right. So Rescuers Down Under...
So Black Cauldron and this one are 2 animated classics. I don't know if the other 2 are included. One of them I think is, but is often forgotten. And we've actually already mentioned it tonight. And the 4th one I don't think is included in the animated classics, but is absolutely a film that you've seen and loved. And
I don't know. I got 1 and I'm proud of that. I'll take that to my grave.
well.
Put that on my gravestone.
Want to guess either of the other ones, or you just want to tap out?
PG, well, if it's between Black Cauldron and this. Is it Basil for that intro one?
It's not Basil.
Because that's actually on the classics line, isn't it? So
Yeah. Like I say, I think one of them is on the classics line, but it's not one you'd think of. It's one that you'd forget.
Nah, just hit me with it. Let's not prolong this.
The other 2 are Dinosaur from 2000, which we've
I
already
would not have
mentioned tonight.
gotten that. No, absolutely
And
not.
the 4th one is Nightmare Before Christmas,
I would not have got that. No.
1993. Also a PG.
Wow.
There you go.
Interesting.
All right, question number 4. When Milo realizes that the crystal is a life source, he talks to Rourke
James Garner.
and says, "You thought it was a treasure. I thought it was a blank. We were both wrong."
You thought it was a treasure, I thought it was an energy source. Well, he thought it was an energy source. Whether he said energy source, I don't know. What's another way of saying energy source? Energy source.
You're very close. I'm going to give you the point.
Battery.
That's it. He says, "I thought it was a battery." There you go. Give yourself a point. Well done.
I'll give myself a tick.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. Here's another observation one. But it was more prominent, so I think you might get it.
Mm-hmm.
What was Milo holding the toilet roll on before everything went on fire?
Oh,
when
it was...
came out?
yeah, well, because...
He was holding a roll
Because that's a
of
really
toilet
great
roll or
scene, because I
something.
remember looking away and coming back, and he was doing something, and you're like, oh, what's he up to? And then he had the shovel and the toilet roll, and I was like, oh, that's a really good way of just being like, you know exactly what he's up to. It's really well shot. So yeah, it was the shovel on, and then it was on the handle.
I mean, I think technically it's like a trowel.
Trowel, sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
I'd already written down shovel, spade, anything like that. I was going to give you, well done. Well done. 7 and 8 are a first character to ever do something, and the last characters to ever do something. So,
All right, I thought that was the question.
no,
Oh, God.
Pretty much. Atlantis, question number 7. Atlantis had the first ever main character in a Disney film to what?
Smoke. No. Poop? No. Smoking poop? No. Swear? No. It's quite. There must be quite a lot.
Well, Milo doesn't do any of those things. I'm going to tell you it's Milo.
All right. Okay.
He doesn't smoke or poop or swear.
What does he do? I feel like I've read this one before somewhere. This. Ride a metallic fish.
It's not necessarily something he does. It could be something about him. What is it about Milo that's groundbreaking? As a Disney lead.
No, I don't know actually. Okay, you're piquing my. I want to get to the end of this. So
he is the first Disney lead character to wear glasses.
Really?
Yeah. There you go.
Fixes.
Male leads don't wear glasses.
That's a good fact.
Yeah, I think you might like that one.
Yeah.
Question 8. This film has one of the last examples of what in a Disney film?
Last examples of animation?
No, it's a thing that a character does.
All right. Smoking.
Yeah.
This is the last example, but then they've not.
I don't know if it's... So I
kind of sporadic.
Tried so hard to figure out if it was the last film that had it. Because the fact I found said that it was one of the last Disney films to show smoking. And I know that in 2007, they introduced the rule that there was going to be no smoking. But before that, there was Tangled, there was Bolt, there was Meet the Robinsons. 2 of them I've not seen, so I'm not really sure if this was the last one.
I mean, only going way back,
it might have been.
The big one I remember is Cruella de Vil. I think that's the only.
Cruella de Vil, Pinocchio.
Oh yeah, Pinocchio. Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few. But Ariel smokes. She smokes a pipe.
Ah, okay.
The genie smokes in Aladdin.
Does he?
Yeah, there's a bit where he's like, she
got
doesn't
all
love
of
me.
them.
No, he's being French. He's like, j'aime mon amour. I'm going to give you a difficult question, and then a question that I'm positive you don't know the answer to, but it's quite a fun one. So we're going to end on one that you probably won't get, but we should hopefully still be fun. So the penultimate question.
Yeah.
How many people started on the expedition?
Oh my god.
So very early on,
yeah, they've got
they get attacked by the Leviathan.
Whole submarine. They all go in escape pods. Only 2 survive.
But Commander Rourke specifically says when they're sending off the candles or whatever, and he goes, "We started with this many people, and now it's just us." How many people did they start with?
I have no idea.
He says such and such people are of the best people I ever knew.
120.
Now, this is a bullshit question because I might be wrong because I just wrote this down while I was drunk and watching, but I think he says 200.
Okay.
I think he says 200 of the best men and women I ever knew. And now it's just us.
I saw that you enjoyed that little capitalist, adventure capitalism.
That was a
gag.
great joke.
Yeah. I'm
an adventure capitalist. Oh, yeah. What a joke.
It's good.
What a joke.
The heart of the film is just quite solid, isn't it?
That's a great gag though. That's a solid pun. It's easy to know when I'm enjoying a thing because I go, yeah,
everyone knows.
Yeah.
There was no crying in this though. There was no happy moments.
No, there was no real
joy. It was just like that might have been part of the problem. So my grandfather was, if we saw your relationship with your grandfather, it would mean more.
Yeah.
But we didn't, so it was
absolutely. If
conceptual.
when he found the place, he broke down crying.
Or found a little thing that his grandfather had been there, or...
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. I wonder if that comes into the sorry, we're going to lose a lot of viewers here. I'm about to say some controversial things for the internet.
All right,
they're not
okay,
ready
I'm
for
in.
this.
I'm in.
2001. We're talking we're still talking to a form of masculinity where that kind of your lead character can't break down. Even though we've had Rambo and stuff, but people ignore it. No, the first Rambo
Examples
really
of
good.
emotionally vulnerable characters.
Yeah,
Rambo.
The first Rambo is amazing.
He shoots a lot of people though.
And then he breaks down and you can't work out what he's saying. He's got post-traumatic stress disorder. And it's because of rampant masculinity that he's been... You've not seen the bloody film!
I mean...
It's so good.
Hey, I've not seen the first bloody film.
Yeah! Well, we'll need to watch that because...
Wait a minute! We're just going to brush over that amazing joke?
It was good, but I'm very angry right now.
Fucking hell.
Don't come near me.
They don't come better than that.
That's true. They're all awful apart from the first one. It is really good and it's a deconstruction of masculinity. Our problems with that film are because of problems with what a masculine character could do in that situation, that being a lead, that would have let us enjoy the film more if they'd let him be more emotionally involved. But because he was slightly intellectually distracted by the whole thing, it felt a little bit alienating.
He didn't really have to overcome anything. That was the biggest problem. Was he had the biggest thing he had to overcome really was convincing people at the museum to fund him.
And then be friends with people.
Come on.
Didn't matter because he had a purpose, and then when he didn't have a purpose, they were already out as bad guys.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
The only character in that film that had an I want moment was MiKo, and his I want was I want to find Atlantis, and he did that like super early into the film.
Yeah, I suppose because then once he'd found it, it'd be like, oh, maybe I wasn't really looking for this all along. I was looking for friends.
Yeah,
they could have hit that more. I think they were trying to go for that, and yeah.
The final question of the quiz. I do not expect you to get this at all, but it's a fun bit of trivia. This is a way of me getting trivia into quizzes, trying to get the youth involved in knowledge.
But is that not what quizzes are all about? The trivia. It's just whether you know it or not. That's something I should mention before we wrap up with the last question and do a wrap up.
Oh shit!
Especially by the end of the film, I would like to figure out when.
I'd like to praise Mothra. If you all just want to join me.
Oh hell yeah!
Mahara. Oh, look at this. Kaiju veteran.
Got
not even saying Mothra, saying Mohara.
So the end of this film, I was thinking this is taking on a lot of Studio Ghibli. There's the big things appear. See, well, we're doing the quiz, so I thought we'd better make sure we fit that in. That was very Valley of the Wind-esque. And so I wanted to figure out when, because Disney took over around this time, I think, distribution rights to Ghibli films in UK, America, and worldwide. So which is where we started to all see them all, because they all ended up in cinemas.
So, wasn't Spirited Away 2001?
Yeah.
Because if Shrek beats Spirited Away, that's travesty. Like I can give Shrek.
Suddenly I'm justified. See when I'm angry at something and I'm like, I don't remember why. Trust me.
Yeah, I think it might be 2002, but it was around about then.
2001.
Shrek beats Spirited Away.
But then you're not sure if did it fit in because they're like it had to
find out.
Oh no, because one of the rules for Oscars is it has to have screened in an American cinema for a certain amount of time.
Spirited Away surely did. That was
massive. This is the question is because it was Disney that said, oh, we'll start screening Studio Ghibli things, so they would have maybe made and also they're the ones that would have said,
Google it.
Oh, you do it. I've been touching everything all day.
Oh, so Spirited Away did win it in 2002. See, I thought Spirited Away had won it. So Spirited Away won it in 2002.
So it was. See, that's the thing. It made in 2001, and then was.
Oh, do you know what else was made in 2001 though that Shrek beat out?
See, I probably did know this at some point. There's a reason why I'm angry about this. I just don't remember the specifics.
Monsters Inc.
Really? 2001?
Shrek beat Monsters Inc.
That's nonsense, isn't it?
That is crazy.
That's
Like I say, I like Shrek.
That's shenanigans.
I like Shrek, and I think it's better than
Well,
Atlantis.
see, that came out. That's got like, and you're like, oh, but I could imagine that there wasn't the level of CGI. That's what I was saying. But
Monsters Inc.
The animation.
Shrek over Monsters Inc.
And this is the
Are
first.
you mental?
And this is the first time they've had an animation Oscar as well.
Like, in what world is Shrek better? Like, Shrek's great, but there is literally nothing that it does better than Monsters Inc. Nothing.
Comedy, actual film, kind of the solidness of the
Animation, plot, ingenuity. Certainly ingenuity, that's not even fucking comparable. Fuck. What? Shrek beat Monsters Inc.
Join me in
Mate.
dark side.
Okay, I can see why you're angry at Shrek. I like Shrek, but yeah, I mean,
Shouldn't have got that.
no.
There's definitely cats.
Not even close.
Cats and what's his face's greased palms and done his dirty deeds to get that one.
This was almost like a fuck you to Disney though, because from 2001 to 2013, 12 years, Disney never won the Best Animated Oscar.
From the start of the creation of this.
So,
Jeez.
so there you go. So yeah, Disney's only won 4 times in 17 years. So
In an entire...
in a genre that
An artistic...
would not have existed without them. So.
Although they did get the honorary ones for Snow White. 7.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got the 7 little
It's
ones.
cool. That's not your seat, cheeky bum.
Hey, so in conclusion...
Oh, and are we concluding?
I think we're concluding.
Magical. Well, that's the end of... Oh, no. We got distracted. I've still got a final question for you on the quiz.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah. Like I say, it's not one that I think that you will know at all, but it's a fun little bit of trivia that I think you might enjoy. Where the fuck are we? Okay, here we go. The crew on the Atlantis set had t-shirts with a slogan for Atlantis. It said, fewer blanks, more blanks. What would you say? And this is in reference to previous Disney films, obviously.
Oh. I don't know.
Well, what was the big difference between this and Disney films of the Renaissance era of the 90s?
Fewer whites.
It's not pure whites, but
close.
no, not close. But it's a fun guess.
Fewer flops. Fewer... I don't know.
Do you want us to tell you?
Yeah, go for it. Come on, man.
Fewer songs, more explosions.
Ah.
That's what it said on their shirts. And that was kind of their ethos for Atlantis.
Well, there was no songs, I think. Well, there was maybe one.
And there was at least 2 explosions.
In the background.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was music all the way through.
Yeah. The music was good. Didn't mention that. Because that's the way we roll.
Shout out to the music.
Yeah, sound.
Music team.
Well done, sound. Whatever you are. Yeah, cool. Nice little... I think
So is there anything else in terms of trivia or thoughts that you had?
No, I think it was good. Leonard Nimoy was in it. He was great.
Speaking of Leonard Nimoy, there are at least 4 Star Trek relevant points of information in that film. Do you know any of them other than Leonard Nimoy was in there?
Well, I think... I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's a bit in it. This is just totally off my head.
Okay.
So I could be wrong, and this could be not connected to what you're saying.
That's all right.
But there's a bit where they first meet Leonard Nimoy, and they say, what's his name? James Garner comes in and says, "Oh, we're people of peace or something. We're here for peace." And he says, "If you're here for peace, why are you carrying weapons?" And I'm pretty sure I've seen that in an original Star Trek episode.
If that's true, it's not one I've got down, so that's a bonus one.
I'm pretty sure, because they always come down and they're like phaser to stun, and then they meet new people, and they're like, we're scientists. And they're like, well, if you're scientists, what's with the gun? I'm pretty sure that happens quite a lot.
So there's a couple that I know you won't know, because I'm not even sure if it's mentioned in the film or if it's just canon in the details. But there's a character whose name is Harcourt.
Harcourt Fenton Mudd. Oh, okay.
And there's also a character whose name is Tiberius.
James Tiberius Kirk. I didn't notice. Well, yeah, I didn't notice those.
I didn't notice them coming up in the film either, but I'd written them down before because I'd learned that, so I assume it was true. I don't know who Harcourt is, but I do obviously know Tiberius.
Harcourt Fenton Mudd was played by, I think, James Carmel, I think, in the original Star Trek. But they brought him back in Star Trek Discovery, played by the guy who's in The Office, that plays the weird guy.
Martin Freeman.
No, he is weird, but...
The one that has the glass eye in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. What's his name? But the American Office, his version, Rainn
Wilson.
Yeah, he plays Harcourt Fenton Mudd in Star Trek Discovery.
So Harcourt is a reference that I didn't get. A final Star Trek thing that you
I love it.
might not know, but is pretty cool.
How dare you, sir?
The Atlantean language is a real language that was created.
I figured that.
And it was
you can tell, can't you?
And it was created by the same guy that created the Klingon language.
The Klingon language, right.
And I don't know if this is the same with the Klingon language, but it's read left to right and then right to left.
All right.
And then left to right and right to left, because it's meant to symbolise the flowing of water.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have the Klingon dictionary somewhere. I bought it. I was like...
Say what?
I got it when I was a child, because I thought this is going to be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it'll make me cool.
And I opened it and I was like, I can't even be fucking that. Because I'm terrible at languages. It was difficult enough learning English.
Also, if you opened up an English dictionary, you wouldn't be like, oh, I can't wait
to get started on this.
Yeah, you're just...
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, can I go somewhere? And yeah, alright.
Can I go somewhere?
Sorry, I was just going to say, it's weird that you can tell. That's what, people are like, why did they bother making a language? For like Game of Thrones or whatever it is. And well, you can tell when they ask questions or when they're talking about numbers. There's certain things, because I can do gibberish all day, and I do.
You're very good at it. Not
and
everyone can do that, though.
If you repeat certain things, it sounds like it's a proper language. So when you do that, but when you can hear certain like, so you're like, oh, that's someone's fucking thought of that.
It's syntax, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I've invented a language, and syntax is key.
This is where you go.
No, we invented Glovish when we lived in the Glove.
Oh yeah, I remember actually.
And I can't remember all of it, but I still remember the numbers. I was going to say Ichi, Nissan, Shi, that's Japanese.
Yeah, we invented Japanese.
So, we talked earlier about potential recastings, and I told you Nick Cage as Milo was one of my favourites, which, having now watched the film, I'm even more intrigued as to how that would have gone.
Look, the problem with the Nick Cage casting thing is you could attach his name to anything, and no matter how amazing the film already was, you'd be like, I'd love to see Nick Cage do it. It doesn't matter what it was. Like, yeah, that would be great.
But someone that was meant to voice Whitmore, which as we have covered was voiced by Fraser's dad, was Lloyd Bridges.
Lloyd Bridges? Yeah.
And like, I'm not getting this wrong. He's the guy, the old guy from Naked Gun and stuff, right? Yeah.
With the eyebrows.
Yeah, but he died.
So I cut that short. It's probably why they've got that whole scene in there where they're blowing up a bridge.
So my final piece of fun trivia from Atlantis. You ready for this? The line when Michael J. Fox as Milo is on the ship and he throws up over the side and he says, carrots, I didn't even eat carrots. That was ad-libbed by Michael J. Fox. It wasn't in the script. And
Right.
what makes it really interesting is the fact that Michael J. Fox is allergic to carrots.
He's letting them know at catering.
Did you know that Michael J. Fox was allergic to carrots?
Did not know that. I didn't.
You could have killed him.
I could, yeah, like... If,
I made that sound like a missed opportunity. Thank you very much for joining us on Happily Ever After, The Rebirth.
we saw crystals being born into humans, being born into crystals.
And Atlantis was saved. Spoilers!
We saw Iago giving birth to small bottles.
To blue curacao, which I was
great.
looking for at the shops. And above all else, we saw the movie Atlantis, a new empire or a lost city.
A lost
or
empire.
something.
A lost empire. Bit both of
that
those.
it?
Yeah, it's a bit both. A new lost.
So, thank you for joining us. We will see you on the next one. I will be picking a film for Ross to quiz me on, to find trivia on, and to create a cocktail in Servitude 2.
Of my own creation. I've never done a cocktail before.
I really think
I'm fine.
I think he's thinking
driving
of
home, I'm fine.
alligator movies. Princess and the Frog.
Went down the frog. We've not watched that as a duo, have we? It's so good. It's one of my favourites. It's so good. I hope you enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking to me or them?
Everyone.
I hope everyone enjoyed
I'm talking
it.
to everyone.
Yeah, it's good.
I've had quite a lot of algae.
It's nice to enjoy things. Yeah, this is the fifth picture of Atlantean algae is done.
Copyright MiKo.
Yeah, copyright me, patent pending, and all that shite. Basically, I don't want any money, but if you make a jug, I want a drink.
Let him know. That would be nice.
But thank you very much for watching. It was less piratey than I expected, but it was a very fun ride. And tune in next time to find out what film we tackle next on Happily Ever After. But thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Happily Ever After. We will be back with a new movie soon. But for now, have a good night. Stay awesome. This has been Ross and MiKo. This has been Ross.
Goodbye.
And I have been MiKo.
Goodbye.
We will see you soon.
Goodbye.
It's a dingle hopper.
I feel strange.
It means you're a baboon, and I'm not.
I'm talking about like a big bear.
Phenomenal, cosmic